Right to this now, Moroadi Cholota, the former personal assistant of former Free State Premier Ace Magashule, is expected to land at OR Tambo International Airport this afternoon. She has been extradited from the US, where she has been studying. SABC News reporter Khayelihle Khumalo joins us live now from OR Tambo International Airport. Good afternoon to you, Khayelihle. So, we understand, of course, that Cholota is expected to land in Johannesburg at the airport at 5 p.m. this afternoon from the US. Just given that she's now being treated as an accused, she may be accompanied, we hear, by the SABC and Interpol. Just talk to us about, what you're seeing and what you're hearing at the moment.
Well, that's right. So, Nats, it's been a very rigorous process for the South African law enforcement agencies, where they worked with their counterparts in the US, the FBI, where at some point they had to go to Ms. Cholota's apartment in Baltimore, Maryland, where she had to be questioned. As you know, that she also appeared at the Zondo Commission of Inquiry. She had a very prominent position as a personal assistant to the former Premier of the Free State, Ace Magashule. So eventually what we do understand is that initially there was a very clear understanding that should be testifying in this particular case around the asbestos case, around 255 million rand. That was really supposed to be very much effective in the removal of the hazardous asbestos, especially in the poor parts of the Free State, the legacy of the apartheid here in South Africa. So really just to move matters forward, there was an extradition process where she tried to halt the process, but subsequent to the events, she was not able to succeed to that effect. So by all accounts, it is a breakthrough for the South African law enforcement agencies, especially the Hawks as well, who have been really delving into this particular case. But in terms of the nitty-gritty surrounding the arrival time, Unati, so far we do understand that it's going to be right after 5 p.m. and we do understand there'll be an official handover right here at the OR Tambo police station to the South African authorities. But something that is quite interesting in this case, Unati, you know that South Africa and the United States of America, they do have the extradition treaty, especially when it comes to the serious offenses. And I think that's why it was a fairly seamless process for the NPA to approach their counterparts in the US to make sure that they get to this particular point. So there's quite a lot at stake in terms of the authorities here in South Africa. As you know, that they want a breakthrough. This is one of the serious cases when you look at the very massive and enormous damage caused by state capture.
And just talking about the seriousness, Khayelihle, we know, of course, that the judge in the court magistrate, rather, in that Maryland district court, remanded Cholota, remain behind bars until U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken decide on her extradition. In fact, she also, said that the evidence before the court was sufficient enough for her, to be extradited from the United States. So, of course, the next couple of days will be very interesting. We spoke to a legal analyst earlier on saying that she is likely then to appear probably by Monday in court. Just talk to me about, in the sense of that handover that you mentioned, are we likely then to see the NPA present? What is likely to happen there in as far as that handover facility?
Well, absolutely, Nati. So the South African authorities, I think they were quite formidable to the argument that they presented to their counterparts in the US, where they brought the invoices, the emails that were quite damning. As you know, that Ms. Cholota was really at the center of the Premier's office at the time in the Free State, and quite a lot of transactions were carried. And as you know, that when she testified before the Zondo Commission of Inquiry, she stated a number of instances where a number of payments were carried out, especially when you look at the gravity of this particular case. Albeit, Nati, it's really just been riddled with a number of postponements. I mean, for example, from time to time, you always hear from Mr. Magashule saying this is really politically motivated, and it's just been a long-standing matter. Every time they do appear, it's always subjected to postponement. But in terms of the official handover, we do understand that that particular handover will happen at OR Tambo International Police Station. That's where the official handover will happen. But also what is very important here is that once again, there has been a number of instances where South Africa and the US, they've been working together. For example, you remember recently, just a couple of years ago, where the former Mozambican finance minister, Manuel Chang, was heading to Dubai, and he was intercepted right here at OR Tambo, and he was arrested here in South Africa. So the US authorities wanted him for a series of cases surrounding fraud and corruption that was committed in Mozambique, and some of the US institutions as well were affected. So hence, the role of the US as well coming to the fore. But also, in this particular case as well, we do understand that Ms. Cholota as well had spoken about her rights being violated, because there was an instance where she says she was questioned, where she was subjected in a very uncomfortable environment, and also she wanted to have her legal representative with her so that she's able to really just give and adduce that all-important answers to the authorities. But quite a very important time for the South African authorities, as you know that for them the extradition in some instances, in some countries, it proves to be quite a very colossal mission.
Khayelihle, thank you so much for that. Of course, we will touch base with you a little bit later on as we monitor developments there at OR Tambo International Airport. Khayelihle Khumalo there for us, of course. Moroadi Cholota, the former personal assistant to the former Free State Premier Ace Magashule, expected to land any moment now at OR Tambo International Airport. We are continuing to monitor those developments.